Or not.
The reason why
My
I'm
very
telling
dear
you-
friend Kevin Burmeister has become a world expert both in archaeology, tourism on Yerushalayim. My father is buried right there. That's the Mount of Olives. He's explaining to me that was an Italian church surrounded by those trees that were planted later. It's called Oil Shel Abraham,
Yeah, exactly.
the tent of Abraham. Yep.
So now, there's a big debate as to where is Ai and where is Beit El. Okay, it's been an archaeological debate for many years.
Okay, so that's my bar mitzvah parsha Vayetze. What is the house of God, Beit El?
Okay.
And there's an archaeological debate as to where that is. Is that the Temple
Now,
Mount, which is how we traditionally understand it?
Edward
Okay.
Robinson, who was an American archaeologist, came here 80, 90 years ago, and he
Okay.
decided that Beit El, he started to look at Beit El, about 10 kilometers north of Jerusalem, where they excavated some sites, and essentially that became the general idea
The
that
accepted-
that is the area of Ai. Okay, it still hasn't been proven, there's no proof of it, okay, but archaeologists kept searching and they continue to search to this very day. Now, in Ras Al Amud, which is about a kilometer away from here, okay, to the east, there was an excavation that was discovered just behind these trees over on the other side. There was an excavation that was discovered there for the exact same time period of Ai, okay? And now there is a debate as to whether or not that was the place of Ai. Now, if you overlay the story of Joshua in Tanakh on this location, it's very possible that this could be the place that Avram came when he came first to Israel, and he stopped here. He was east of Beit El, west of Ai. That's exactly where that place could be if Ras Al Amud is Ai. And he then said that that's where he built a mizbeach, and that's where he built an altar.
The first altar built in ancient
Right.
Israel.
And then, if you go fast forward to the time of Joshua, there was an ambush after they came to Jericho and they destroyed the city of Jericho when the Jews returned from Egypt. The next city they came to was Ai. And there's an ambush party that was located somewhere below Ai. Joshua set his troops aside from the ambush party. He stood across from the city of Ai over a valley. Now that most likely would mean that Joshua is standing on the top of Mount of Olives, which is where the Intercontinental Hotel is, where the Palestinian Authority was established in 1964. And that's where Joshua would have stood with his troops. He then attacked Ai, operated as a decoy, ran into the desert, okay, which is where they came from in Jericho. And the king of Ai chased after his troops, and the ambush party came up from somewhere around here, entered from the Kidron Valley, entered the city of Ai, burnt the city down. The king of Ai turned around, saw his city was burning down, came back to the city, and then Joshua attacked the king, and they killed the king of Ai. And that's really how we established and we set ourselves in the second city, the conquering of Israel.
So this is all 300 years for the establishment of Jerusalem by King David. Is that correct, approximately?
Sorry?
300 years.
That's right, yes.
Now what are we looking at right here?
Jamie.
This is the upper class neighborhood. Upper town, if you'd like.
This is the city of David.
Yes, and this
So
is
this
the
is-
highest topographic area and neighborhood.
Okay.
Where the upper class, this area.
Outside of what we now know as the walls of ancient Jerusalem.
Not quite. Ancient Jerusalem, the old city, yes.
Yes.
Outside the old city, which is Jerusalem
Second
number
temple,
2.
Jerusalem, yeah, okay.
Yes, this is Jerusalem number 1. The ancient city walls would be roughly 30, 40 meters down the slope, and this would have been the elite neighborhood living on upper class, upper ground.
Not far from the King's Palace.
This is
No, right under the King's
under the
Palace.
King's Palace.
Yes. Over here in the 1980s, Professor Igal Shilon excavated this area, finding burnt rooms, and in those rooms he found arrowheads that are
Wow.
associated with the destruction of Jerusalem 2,600 years ago. Here I have them here.
Okay, the destruction by the Babylonians.
Yeah.
By Nebuchadnezzar, and destruction of the first temple.
Right? And seals.
They
belonging-
found the actual arrowheads.
I'll show you first the seals that were found. This is a replica
Oh my God,
of a
wow.
seal.
So this is ancient Hebrew, right?
Yes, and these are the arrowheads, both local Jerusalemite and Babylonian.
These aren't real, are they?
They are.
You're kidding, these are real.
Babylonian
These are
arrowheads.
about Babylonian arrowheads from 2,600 years ago.
Careful this doesn't fall. Very quickly, just have a look.
Can I be careful that they don't fall in my pocket?
You try that. Have a quick look.
Just put it on Kevin's tab.
sifting the dirt. Look, this
I
is.
cannot believe can we touch this? This is
Look, we're
incredible.
standing here now.
Right.
This is what it looked like in the 1980s.
Right.
In burnt rooms over here, right underneath us. Look at the layer of ashes. Look at the layer of
Incredible.
fire and destruction. Sifting
So we're
through-
looking at the destruction of the first temple here.
Yes, sifting through the dirt. Look at these arrowheads that were
That's
discovered.
incredible.
Babylonian and Jerusalemite arrowheads, and these seals. We're talking seals in ancient Hebrew of three ministers: Gedaliah ben Pashhur, Jochai son of Shelemiah, and Gemariah son of Shaphan. These are 3 out of 5 officials who were mentioned
They're
in the
actually
book of
named.
Jeremiah.
Incredible.
The same chapter,
That's
chapter
amazing.
38, and they were involved throwing Jeremiah into the pit 2,600 years ago. So,
That's
context.
incredible. The three men who actually
they're
threw
all
Jeremiah.
mentioned in the same pasuk, in the same verses of in the book of Jeremiah. And
Context of discovery, time, artifacts, and space where we are proves that the biblical story is not a story, it's a documentation of what happened here in Jerusalem.
Amazing. Now let's get to the part where UNESCO repudiated the authenticity of all these objects. What year did that happen?
9 years ago?
Yeah, 10 years ago, something like that. And way before
That's
that.
incredible. Thank you
Let's
very
go.
much. Ready to get a picture of that? That's amazing. Amazing.